patience in my backseat, Jameson and caffeine, secrets kept in between us. Summertime 2016.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to yet another video. My name is Natalie Caitlin and my channel name is TheStylishMed. Today is the 30th of January and so it makes sense for me to plan my February today. Also, excuse me for looking poofy and my face is swollen and whatever. I just woke up. I am post night shift. It's around 3 p.m. I got home around 10. No, I got home around 9, I think. Showered, did my laundry, ate, slept, and then woke up now at 3. And I honestly am so sleepy. Like, I low-key want to put this camera down and just go back to sleep. But this is the only time that I have to do my planning for the new month. Otherwise, I'll end up having to do my planning in the middle of the month, and I hate doing that. I don't like planning my month when the month has already started because that makes me feel, I don't know, I won't be as productive as I actually can be. So yeah, in this month's plan with me, we're planning my studies, we're planning my work schedule, we're planning my content schedule, we're planning just basically my routine, because this month I also happen to be moving to a different department. Oh gosh guys, like I'm so tired of having like this inconsistent schedule because it makes it hard for me to be productive. But one thing I know that is, because I'm done with internal medicine, my life is no longer as stressful. I'm still tired obviously after a night shift, after a long day, but it's not like mental exhaustion. In internal medicine I was physically and mentally exhausted, but now I'm just okay. So it is hot. I apologize if you guys hear sounds in the background. I might forget to keep switching off my AC when I pick up the camera. It is hot in Tanzania, you guys. You're like, it's hot. I can barely breathe. Fun fact, I haven't used my water geyser, my water heater, since I came to Tanzania. I have not used hot water to bath since I arrived in this country, and it's been 3 months. Yeah, and that's because when you switch on the cold water, when you open the tap and the cold water comes out, it's hot. So that's how hot it is. So yeah, I want to cut up a mango and snack on that while I do my planning. And so the first thing that we're going to do is obviously to just write down my my days in the month, and the schedule and the basic overview of the month. I am still using my 2021 planner pack. That is what I'm using to plan my whole year. If you guys still haven't gotten your 2021 planner, feel free to use mine. It's only $6.50. I will leave a link in the description below and at the end of this video so you can go and purchase it. It's really effective for those of you that are like, you know, just getting started with planning. You don't want something so overwhelming that will make you feel reluctant or start hesitating to even do any planning. It's perfect for those of you that just, you know, just want to plan without feeling too overwhelmed, because I know this time that we're in with a lot of people at home, you don't want something that makes you feel totally useless, and so this plan is perfect for that. I've been talking for about 3 minutes already, and so let's come out my mango and let's get planning. I got my mango all cut up. I also put myself a cup of Coke because I cannot keep my eyes open, you guys. Then this is just my setup. This is my work desk, and so I have my iPad here, which is what I'm using to do my planning, and then my laptop, and I have books open, which I'm going to use to do my study planner. And then this is the planner I'm using. So I am using the standard version, which looks like this. This is the planner. There's also the neutral blossom design, which is basically a nude brown with floral tones. And then there's the marble version, which you guys already know I love. But this time I just wanted to use the basic, the standard. So that's what I'm using. So it's time to plan for February.
Only music in my car is just the AC, and I hate it when we start just like my 6-speed. Know you're clutching hands and feet like how I switch gears. Only difference is I'm silent, you hold back tears. Till your hands face down, baby. It's not like the times that we shed. There's a tension in the air right now. Got your hands together, what you...
So, when it comes to planning my month, like the overview, I don't try to be too ambitious. Actually, with all the planning that I do, it's very important for me that I don't over plan and don't get too ambitious with my planning. And this is one of the downsides of planning and organization, is that when you do too much and then you don't actually achieve everything that you had set out to do, you might find yourself being even less productive than you probably would have, because you end up getting discouraged, you have no motivation, you feel like, oh, I didn't achieve this, what's the point of planning? Every time I plan, I never achieve anything. So you just stop planning and then you don't plan anything. But you need to be realistic when you plan. Like for me, for example, I have a crazy schedule right now for the next 12 months essentially, and I have no business planning to work for 3 hours after work, because obviously that's not going to make sense. That's not going to happen. I'm either going to get home late, or I'm going to be tired or something. So you have to look at your life realistically and plan around that. And so currently I've been having night shifts or day shifts, not like I'm at work and then I also stay on night, but in February I'm finishing up an EMD and then moving on to ICU and anesthesia, and so there I don't have any night shifts. So if I'm on night, it's because I want to be at the hospital, so I can plan for my evenings. I can plan to do most of my work in the evenings, because I'm not going to have any days off. I'm going to work every day, but I'm going to have all my nights free. So every month you want to look at, okay, what does my schedule look like this month? What is different from the previous month? And that's why it's important to plan every month, not just to plan the year and then sit back, because not every month is going to be the same, and the next month in March things are going to be different again. So I don't have any calls, and from the third week of, so for the first 2 weeks I have night shifts, but from the second week from the third week I don't, which is perfectly fine with me. And so I'm just going to slot in my goals, my upcoming and my to-do lists for this month.
Unstable signs say we needed space. I tried to beg the universe for grace. It was simpler in summertime 2016, when the sky was burning. We was talking about dreams and the future. Conversations in my backseat, Jameson and caffeine. Secrets kept in between us. Between us, no. Between us. Between us, no.
So while planning my February, I've done all my remaining shifts for EMD, and then I've left the next spot blank because I haven't started in that department, so I don't know how my schedule is going to be. But these red dots that I've put all across Thursday and then on these 2 Mondays are the YouTube videos that I want to upload. So now what I need to do is actually plan my content for the month, and then I can fill in those blanks. So that is what I'm going to do now. One thing that has changed about the way I plan out my content is that I no longer say, okay, I can plan to say this is the video that I want to film this month, or this is the video that I want to do, you know, like on this and this day. But I can no longer like have a day where I can just sit and like batch create content. So I literally have to plan in advance, like on this day I'm going to film this, on this day I'm going to film that. And so that's essentially what I'm going to do. But for the most part, since this year started, I've mostly just like, when I wake up and I feel like I'm not tired, I pick up my camera, because I'm trying to film as much as I can and create as much content as I can, because I know that like when I'm tired, I'm tired. When I'm busy, I'm busy, and there's nothing I can do about it. So you guys might be watching vlogs from January and February and so forth and so forth. Obviously there's videos that are like time sensitive, like February plan with me, you're gonna see it on the 1st of February. You're not gonna see a February plan with me video in March. But there's other videos that are not time sensitive, like I can still post a day in my life in internal medicine 2 months from now, you know, things like that. And so Yeah, and this content planning also goes to like my Instagram, what kind of content I want to push and create there. And while I'm doing my content, when I'm done with my content rather, I'm actually just going to go and plan my business goals, and my business plan for February as well, and then I'll also slot anything into my overview and calendar.
Sitting shock until my ego heart is racing, and your smiles looking weaker than my patience. In the tremble of your words I hear frustration, but you know I hate myself for the same reason. And I can tell I'm half of that guy I was when you first started to cry. I can feel the chill in my spine. Just knowing that a part of me died. It was simpler.
Okay, so my month is essentially planned. Now what I want to do is do my habit tracking, the things that I want to put down. I must admit, in January, actually not even in January, but since I came here, I have been quite bad at habit tracking. And the reason for that is my days are so unpredictable. Like, it's really hard for me to sit down and say, oh, I need to do this and this and this and this and this, and then my day's not the same. Like, I haven't worked out since, I don't know, the last time I worked out I was in Botswana, and I don't have all my meals. There's a lot of things that I want to have as part of my habits that I'm not doing and that I haven't done for a while. So when I keep seeing it in my habit tracker and I haven't done it, it just frustrates me and annoys me. So I stopped tracking. But I really need to get back into the swing of things, and I don't know, maybe we need to motivate each other. Like, you guys need to motivate me as well, because yeah, with my habit tracking I've been totally useless. Like, if I can show you guys, I think I probably tracked like 3 or 4 days. Actually, it's not that bad. I tracked like the first 10 days. Let me show you guys. So you can see, like, I tracked like the first 11 days, but you see there's things that I didn't do at all. Like, you see all these blanks. So the only thing I was good at was getting to work early, being productive, and yeah. So it's things like that like discourage me and stop me from tracking my habits, but it ends this month. Who's with me? So yeah, I'm just gonna jot down all the habits that I want to track, and then because I've planned my content, planned my business goals, the next thing that I'll be left with is my studies. I think I'll talk a bit about that, and then we'll be done for the day. There's not much going on in my life right now, so there's not much to plan for. As long as my days, like my monthly schedule, is planned out, and then my content and my business, I'm good. As for studies, I'm a bit reluctant to like over plan that, because when I'm at work, let's say I woke up and I said, okay, this week I want to study heart failure and maybe diabetes, and then at work I get assignments on HIV and malaria and, I don't know, pulmonary embolism. That means that is what I have to study first, because that is going to be asked. The other things are things that I just wanted to know. So that's what's been happening a lot since I started my internship. I'll plan to study something, and then I end up being swamped with other assignments and tasks I was given from work. But we're gonna plan nonetheless, because a life without a plan is not a life well lived. So let's finish up.
Summertime 2016, when the sky was burning, we was talking about dreams and the future. Conversations in my backseat, Jameson and caffeine, secrets kept in between us, no. Between us, no.
Okay, so in terms of my studies, yeah, the way I'm studying right now is obviously a lot different from the way I was studying in actual med school. As a doctor, you're not really studying to like pass a test, pass an exam, to answer questions. You're more likely to be studying to understand your patient better, to understand your patient's meds better, to understand how better to deal with another case one day if you get a similar presentation, stuff like that. So especially for me, who studied in China and I'm working in Africa, things are different. Okay, so I think this is something that I say a lot, like the way we were taught things in China and the way we're taught things here and the way things are taught here are different. The topics that are taught also are the same, but the emphasis that's put in those topics is different. Yes, we learned HIV, but we did it as a subtopic of a subtopic. I think I always say this, you guys have heard me saying this before. It was like something we did in like a 45-minute period, whereas here there's books and books and books and books and books on HIV, and like HIV is like a big thing, obviously. Things like malaria that in China I never did. Here most of my patients will have malaria. So it's things like that. Even like meds used, some of the meds used in China and around the world, we don't use them here, and some of the meds that are used here, they're not used there. So I always have to learn like the new things, the things that I didn't learn in school, the things that are different. For example, some things you might be taught but they're not emphasized because you don't see them there, and then here they really emphasize it a lot, so you have to like refresh. And also there's just basic things you need to know in each department. So like for internal medicine, I did like all the basics. I did a lot of ECG reading when I was in medicine, and I love ECGs now. It's crazy because I used to hate, like, you know, I was that person that you give me an ECG and I'm like, oh my god. Now like I've taught myself and I've been taught as well. I had a lovely registrar who taught me a lot of things. Then my HOD and EMD is also teaching me a lot about ECG because he knows I love ECG. So now that I'm in EMD, obviously I want to study focused on EMD. I don't want to be like reading things from gynae. Obviously in EMD we do have gynae emergencies, but I want to read emergency medicine while I'm in emergency medicine department. I don't want to be reading things that I'm gonna find in future while I'm still here, because I want to, when I finish with this department, I should know well, not everything, but a lot about. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. And so my HOD and EMD gave me these two books. Actually, he lent them to me, and that's what I'm actually using to plan out my studies, because I obviously have to give them back. And so when I give them back, I want to be done using them. So I don't want to have them sitting on the desk that I'm not using them. So my studies are going according to these books. And so yeah, I'm just gonna use this to plan out my studies for the next month, and then I will come and show you guys the plan. And so when you plan your studies, one thing you should never do is to just say, today I'm studying internal medicine, cardiovascular system, because that is too broad. You won't be productive. You won't have a productive study session. But if you break it down to say, okay, this month I want to do cardiology, or this month I want to do dermatology, this month I want to do nephrology, and then this week I'm going to do heart failure, and next week I'm going to do hypertension, the next week I'm going to do, I don't know, acute coronary syndromes, the next week I want to look at this type of ECG, the next week I want to do this. And then with each day you say, okay, today I'm doing the pathophysiology of hypertension, tomorrow I'm going to do commonly used drugs in hypertension, tomorrow I want to do side effects, the next day I'm going to do how to manage patients that come with hypertensive emergencies, the next day I want to do this, the next day I want to do that. And that will actually help you to know the topic well, because if you do this thing where you just want to say, I want to do a topic a day, trust me, you want to do that topic a day, and by the time that you're trying to refresh and see if you know anything, you're not going to know anything, and it's going to be very frustrating because you've been studying but you still don't know anything. And so I've been talking too much again. I'm really sorry guys, I talk a lot, but anywho, yeah, so let me make my plan and then I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Okay, so this is my overview essentially. So the goals are for me to master key emergencies and have a better understanding of ultrasound, do an ECG a day, a scan a day, and then this is my 4 topic breakdowns, like the 4 big chapters I want to have covered by the end of this month: electrolyte abnormalities, CVS, cardiovascular emergencies, shock, and emergency ultrasound. So now that I have these 4, I break these down into the next month, so 28 days because it's Feb. And the reason I'm doing that is because I know it looks like it's just 4 topics, but it's actually bigger than that. You have your hyperkalemia, hypokalemia, hyponatremia, hypernatremia. And even in hyperkalemia, you have to know your protocol. You have to know the ECG findings, the manifestations, how to treat, what to do, and so forth. So it goes deeper. It's not like you just sit one day and say I'm doing electrolyte abnormalities, because you will never finish, and then you end up doing like shadow reading. So you say, okay, I read it, but then you didn't really do anything. So like all the electrolytes and the abnormalities, calcium, magnesium, chloride, everything. And then CVS emergencies, you have hypertensive emergencies, you have MI, you have pulmonary edema, you have a lot of things. So you know, and then shock, obviously you have a lot of types of shock, and each one has a different mechanism, pathophysiology, different management, best drugs, best fluids, best everything that you need to put up. And so I'm going to put a task a day, or a topic, one topic in these, like I want to break these topics down into different topics that I want to put one a day. And I'm putting one a day because I know that at work I also get homework or assignments, so I don't want to have crowded my day with my own topics, like let's say 3 topics for my one day, and then at work I get 2, and then now I'm overwhelmed and I don't do anything, and then at the end of the month it looks like I haven't studied anything from my plan, and then that just frustrates me and makes me feel overwhelmed, and makes me feel like I didn't achieve anything. So you don't want to over plan. Essentially, you want to plan your studies and give room for topics that might take you more than one day, or to do topics that you might not understand and need to take the whole week doing more research, doing videos. Give room for topics that might be put on you from nowhere, sprung on you from nowhere.
Simpler in summertime 2016, when the sky was burning, we was talking about dreams in the future. Conversations in my backseat, Jameson and caffeine, secrets kept in between us. Summertime 2016, when the sky was burning, we was talking about.
These were my 4 topics, which I broke down into 28 days. These 3 days I'm not planning on setting anything because I'll be post shift and I'm always tired. So I have hypertensive emergencies. You see how I've broken down my my 4 big topics into like something a day to do, and then every day I've added ECG and ultrasound. So just to do one ECG and to look at one scan. I forgot to add it for these 2. Let me do that now. But essentially that's my study plan for the month. So guys, this is my month all planned out. Plan my overview. I know what content I'm creating. I know what I'm doing for my business. I know my business goals and the plan. I know my study goals and the plan, and essentially that's it, done. The only thing I need to do is my meal plan, which I don't kind of feel like doing now because I haven't got grocery shopping yet. So I need to make a grocery list and then go grocery shopping and then make a meal plan, or the other way around. Either way, it's not something that I plan on doing now, and I'm on day tomorrow, so I won't even be able to do it tomorrow. So probably on the 1st of February is when I'm going to be able to do it, and I don't want to have to wait until that to upload this video. So we'll end this here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope like these plan with me videos give you like little productivity tips and little planning and organization tips and so forth. And so yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.
In the future, conversations in my backseat, Jameson and caffeine, secrets kept in between us. Summertime 2016, when the sky was burning, we was talking about dreams.